What's going on YouTube channel? It's Taurus Downie again. Go hard, go home. Hit this light right quick. A little bit more light here. But today I'm gonna be watching some old Reva TV here. I don't think I've ever watched her before. So I'm gonna be checking her out. But it's gonna be another video with Andrew Tate giving advice to Brittany Renner. This is a different cut of it, I think, from some of the other ones I've seen. So I'm calling this video the emancipation of Brittany Renner. And people probably like, emancipation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because she's being liberated. She's been liberated before. Now she's being liberated from the ideas that she had before. And she's not she wasn't getting the results that she wanted. I'm interested to see what is going to go on this right here. I've never watched this lady, but when women are talking about women, it always interests me. I look at theirs. I don't really talk about how women do, but I just talk about like guys better than themselves because I think the women kind of have to handle the other end. But either way as it goes, before we get in this jump right here, y'all hit the subscribe button for me. I got on my dusty do-rag again for y'all to be talking about it. Dusty do-rag. It doesn't really matter, guys, because, hey, I'm not on here. I don't get paid to do this. I'm not going to get paid to do it like that. No, I just want subscribers, and that's it. That's what's going to keep me going. All right? I don't do cash apps, that Patreon crap, none of that junk. I'm not selling nobody no damn programs. Whatever I'm going to tell somebody, I'm going to tell them right here on YouTube, and I'm going to do it for free. So I do this in my free time. So if you want somebody to dress a certain type of way, y'all got to go to the other channels where y'all paying them. Because I'm not asking for nobody for no money. So y'all hit that subscribe button for me. And let's get into this. I'm going to drop these lights right quick in my other room. Because that mess is aggravating the hell out of me. Let me fire up my old blunt here. Y'all know I got one. In most cases, piece of shit cost me $10. Okay. So let's get the video started here. Because I'm interested to see what's going to go on with Miss Renner at this time.
Because, all right, I love like everything we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Okay, so to all the viewers out there, including myself, right? You live life. There's gray area. You live and you fucking learn, right? So where the fuck do we go from here? So do I play the shame game where everybody walks away a fucking loser? Because I can do that. I beat myself up my entire life for every decision I've ever made. Right? It got me nowhere. No. So I value myself. I see the world differently through a series of events, right? So what the fuck comes next? Because that's where I'm confused, right? Because I'm not, it's like, if you don't, if it's not like gifted to you, like even in your situation, like your dad provided you a life that like so many people would kill for. Like, you know what I mean? So that's why it's like, it sucks because the reason I hate these conversations is because it's never about like empathy. Do I understand the scales and how someone may view you for this, that, and the third? Okay, but moving forward, then what? So okay, so I'm just gonna, like I said, make it about myself. I'm 30, single, mom. My fucking checkered past is all over Instagram. You know what I mean? I have people like you. She's a hoe. She's this. She's literally known for this. Okay. So what would be your advice to people like me then? I don't believe it.
Okay, before we move forward to the advice, right? I just want to say this. The problem with a lot of women and the reason why it's hard for them to come to certain channels or be in certain spaces and get advice or take advice or listen to other women is because they feel constant condemnation, right? They feel less than. They feel like they're being belittled. They feel like people are always going to bring up all of the things that they've done wrong and expose, well, you're this and you're this and, that's the end for you and nothing's going to happen for you. And a lot of these women feel like, well, if they do want to change, then where is the space for that? Where is the space for growth? Where is the space for, okay, I came up with this realization. You guys are right, blah, blah, blah. So now how do I change my situation?
Okay. Now that's kind of interesting. I was cutting her off right there, but I'm gonna listen to what she's saying. But I think one thing that women got to start understanding is that it's some shit that there might not be no coming back from. Women don't understand men the same way men have to try to understand women because we have to talk to them first. They don't really have the same idea of trying to learn men the same way. So they're looking for this, well, I did that, but yeah, it's like, this kind of goes back to that thing in life where it's like first impressions. First impression to kill your ass. Somebody get the wrong first impression of you, and you cannot change it back no matter what you try to do. And that's kind of what she's done. She's given everybody a first impression view of her. Miss Renner has given every guy a first impression view of her, and is just, you're gonna probably look stupid as a guy to even touch this with a 10-foot pole. Now, if I ever met the girl, I'd bang the hell out of her. I'd do it. I damn sure would, and I'd date her, but it would be no serious shit. And like, she's looking for, like, to be able to, I guess, to redeem herself, but it's not the redemption that people are looking at. It's your ass can relapse into this shit while you with me, and then I will be screwed. You gotta kind of look at that one too. That's like, some women don't like to date guys who used to be players. He may have said he changed now, but she's like, nope, because you might go back to that shit. I see that happen all the time too. Let's finish seeing what Miss Reeva's gonna say.
But here's the thing. When it comes to women who are just living their normal lives and who are not on social media, might be on TikTok or whatever, but are not as such public figures as she is, it's a lot different. And let me tell you why. Because a lot of women right now are strongly influenced by the advice that was given to them by you on how to trap a man, how to get a baby, how to get this, how to get funds out of a man, how to sleep around, they were getting this advice from you. You don't need no man. And now that you want to change your tune because your realization is that you're not getting the results that you thought you were going to get because you thought you were in control, which a lot of women do. A lot of women think they're in control of relationships and who's going to be with who and who's not going to be with who. A lot of women have that mentality and are wrong. But because they didn't get those same outcomes, or because you didn't get that outcome, now you kind of want sympathy, but at the same time, you need to be accountable first, right? And she said that she's always been holding herself accountable. She's been this, she's been that. But I think that people want to be sure that what they are telling you is not going to fall on deaf ears so that you can have another form of manipulation. Because if you're known for quote unquote manipulation or whatever, and then now you want to be on the guy's side and figure out how you can move forward, people are going to look at you funny. They are going to look at you sideways. It is going to be a little bit harder for you to gain that information for change. It is what it is. Women.
Okay, here's the deal. Really, once you do all the stuff that she did, there almost ain't no change for you. Especially if everybody knows. See, like she said, if she wasn't a high profile figure, she could just move to another city. She's a good looking woman. She can move to another city and shit would change for her. Because nobody there would know. The problem is the whole world knows. Now, as far as the women trying to hold her accountable, I mean, like, what for? They was doing the shit too. They was following it. They shouldn't really be trying to do no accountability. They should really be saying, oh, that shit didn't work. Well, what do we do now? That's really what they should be doing. They need to get like her instead of, I guess, trying to hold her accountable. Because she already ruined them. Like Reba just said, she already ruined them. So they got to figure out the answer too. But more likely won't get it from her though.
Men have been coddled since forever. People are always coddling women. At this point, there's no softness. There's no, oh. It's not about emotion. It's about truth, facts, how we're going to move forward, how we're going to do this. So you're not going to be confronted with comfort. You're going to be confronted with facts before anything.
I believe black and white.
Okay, well, that's unfortunate because there's gray.
I don't believe in gray area.
There's gray.
There's gray in life.
You know what? To answer, wait, I'm going to answer. I mean, I just think there's consequences for your decisions, and I just think, like, my best advice would be to, like, lower your standards. like that because I just think there's going to be consequences for putting, promiscuous stuff on the internet.
Okay.
And you probably won't get the type of guy that you could have got at 22.
Do you know what, sister?
It wasn't meant to be then.
Do you know what I'll tell you? I would say, because I'm 30 and I'm single out of a situation that actually is not because I was a hoe and I was doing whatever. People can't call me that. I made a bad decision to be with somebody that hurt me a lot, and I stayed for 5 years. I came out super late. And do you know what I realized? What I learned is that I know now that I have to be selective and I have to think. If me taking longer to get to that stage is what it takes, then that's what it takes. You accept your future, you accept everything with gratitude, because as long as you're breathing, that's the most important thing. At least you've got your child. I am not afraid because I know the quality of woman that I am. I know my...
Well, you know what? This woman right here, she's like, if it takes you a little bit longer, that's one thing, but that's what women don't get it. Women don't get it. If it takes you that damn long, you start losing points for that too. See, they don't get that. I be dropping nuggets on my doggone shit. I be telling what it is. I be telling the real. But the deal is though, if it take you to 30 to figure that out, you lost points. If it takes you 35, you lose by 10, 15, 20 more, 30 more. Even if it takes you to fucking 40, then you just calling Kevin Samuels and all the other good shit. You a statistic then. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. And this is one of the problems that Brittany Renner ain't even had that problem. This woman has it. I want to wait till I'm 30, 40 to figure out that I got to be selective. Women got to do that shit from the beginning. In another video, that last video I did with Andrew Tate in it, which this one, he was going off, and I did that one. And it's called Andrew Tate Spits the Truth. But he said in there, if a woman got a high body count, I think it was that one. One of the others I seen, he just said this. If a woman got a high body count, it's because she was fucking a bunch of people she shouldn't have been fucking. All of us know that. All men know this. If a woman's body count is high, that's why the problem with body count is the problem. Because you took some of them dicks that you didn't have to do. You just did that being a freak. And I gotta consider that as a man. Some women ain't gonna like that, but y'all can drop it in the comments, let me know. Let's go see what's next.
I value regardless of whether I'm 30, 40, 50. Do you understand? So you don't be afraid by other people's time limits and limitations and all of these things. Because it actually doesn't matter.
Wrong. You gotta be aware of the time limits of the other damn side. If you could become rich as a dude by the time you're 30, you beat a big doggone time limit on the woman's side. They like that. You rich and you 20, you rich and you 30. Hey, we wouldn't expect that till 40. You just beat the time frame. You better know the other side's time frame. You better know it. But see, this is what I'm saying. Women don't feel like they have to know our time frame. They don't feel like they got to know our side. That's why I be telling guys all the time, hey, y'all wasting y'all time with that damn free agent lifestyle and that damn game, Lucario shit. It's a waste of time. They don't care about your side. And while you doing this shit with Coach Greg Adams, learn how to pay for women, and with Lucario really learn how to beg for women or just be out all day looking for them and shit. I mean, like, while you doing that, you could be getting your money and beating that time frame. You could be doing all of that instead. But hey, this is my opinion. Go play.
And I'll tell you why.
No, but your value goes down as you get older.
No, that's according to you.
No, but I'm saying to men.
The thing is, besides Pearl, of course, her listening to all these other women who are going to coddle her is not going to help her. You know what happens? What happens is that women are so used to the sisterhood and women being so, overly supportive and overly loving and supporting you even when you're in your foolishness and rubbing your back and saying, oh, it's going to be okay. And sometimes that's really not the reality. And so when they get confronted with the reality of, well, maybe you have to lower your standards. Maybe you have different choices. Everybody sees you out here from doing this, and that. That's going to affect you. It's going to follow you. It's going to, we might have to see, you might have to, it's going to take you longer, whatever it is, but there's no rubbing of the back. And so they want that. And so like that woman that's sitting next to her, who's in the same spot, is telling her, well, we're the best women that we can be. And we're offering this and we're offering that. But what we need to hear is from the man. We need to hear what a man's perspective is to this conversation. Obviously, like I said,
that's what I was just doing. That's why I'm doing the commentary right here.
besides Pearl, because we already know how she thinks.
And you have to understand your buyer.
I'll tell you why. Because since Mr. Andrew Tate explained something about status, I understand very well what that actually means. And as a woman, the quality and the value that I hold for myself is actually the kind of value and quality that a man will appreciate the status it will bring to him, whether or not I'm a virgin. Because I've worked on myself to be a woman of quality and substance. I respect myself and I handle myself as such. Okay? And that is the way that you're going to actually overcome all of these bad mistakes that you've made, because who you are right now actually will make a difference if you stick to it and if you mean it and if you've always been that way. There's always another story for everybody. It doesn't matter. You'll be fine.
You know what I would
just find somebody that's more emotionally mature.
You know, I would have said.
The thing is, okay, and I'm sorry to keep stopping it so much, but there's just so much to say. I did not watch this clip, okay? This is my first time watching it, so I just have so much to say, and they keep moving from point to point, but this woman is saying you always have time, you always have this, and this is not true.
No.
This is not true. Oh, because I know the type of woman that I am, and I know that I'm worth it in this. Listen, at this day and age, even if we want to take virginity out of it, right? In this time that we're living in, you know what a man values more than anything? Your respect and your femininity. Those two things come top tier. How you respect him and how feminine you are. And the problem is, when you've been on the internet, talk about men ain't this, men ain't that, you don't respect them, they're beneath you, you're better than them, you don't need them. When you have constantly said these words and berated men on so many different avenues, so many different platforms, and now you want them to respect you, and now you want to be in a relationship with them, and you want to prove you can be submissive and all of these things, do you know that he's going to be wading in the water? Because if you used to constantly say how much you don't need a man, if you guys get into any kind of conflict, that's going to be the first thing that comes to your mind. I don't need no man. I don't need...
You might relapse. I just said it a little while ago. You might relapse. And ain't nobody got time for all that.
I don't even need you. I could do bad without you. You know, I'm doing you a favor. That humility is not going to be there. It's like the monster just waiting to come out, because who are you for real? The person that's trying to change, or the person who is, you know, we don't need no man? Maybe you don't know, and maybe you're still trying to figure that out, but that's a burden to a man.
What are you about to say, Andrew? Because you just started speaking.
I want to say,
Andrew, she said. Andrew, I want to hear. Because you've been through a lot in your life. When she told me that you were going to be on and we were going to be on this panel together, I started watching a bunch of your videos, and it really was like, there's so much that you have been through, which is why you have a well of wisdom, right? And the difference between me and you is that you're glorified for it, and I am burned at the stake for everything that I've been through. And it's so funny, because people have always said that we were two sides of the same coin, as far as like, well, if Andrew Tate gets banned, Brittany Renner should get banned, because we are all about accountability and fucking truth, right?
Yeah.
Okay? So you've been through a lot, I've been through a lot. I'm seen as used goods. You're seen as a high value man.
Yeah.
So if you're me, then what? What's next?
Yeah, it's really interesting, and it's interesting you make that observation.
It's interesting to me that she thinks that they're the same, but okay.
You are correct. That's the difference between the masculine and the feminine. It's unfair, I guess. The world's not fair, but that's the difference between the masculine and the feminine. Men are respected for going through things and surviving, and women are the complete opposite. They're shamed for going through things and surviving. If you look at women, love scars on men for a reason. He's gone through something.
They're war wounds.
Yeah, men don't want a chick covered in scars. I'll say this right now, that a woman, the more trauma she goes through, the more masculine she naturally becomes. And if you were to give me my ideal woman, I would not want her to have a hard life and a bunch of trauma. I like the idea of her having a soft feminine life and being a soft person, and I can take care of her and protect her. Whereas
this right here, what he just said, is the reason that a lot of guys are going to other places looking for women who haven't lived the American lifestyle, pretty much so. Because the American lifestyle is harsh, especially if you're at the bottom. You got to come up. You got to be go, balls to the wall. And, I mean, you can still, they can still do it in Parliament. Because I've been to other countries and women worked, and they have different principles here. That's what's going on with that. And they don't, I mean, like, her looking at it, like, this thing that she's looking at is one of the problems. Well, when guys do it, it's not the same thing. And he's explaining that, but the problem is, for one of the things I don't want to do, and I'm not going to keep doing, is explaining that shit over and over. That's why I keep telling guys, stop explaining this shit over and over, because as you can see from all these videos and from everything that's going on, it really more or less falls on deaf ears than anything else. If anybody was paying attention to that stuff, they'd already be doing like this lady down here at the bottom of the screen, Reva. You don't have to tell them. You shouldn't have to tell adults certain things.
The man, to be a good man, you need to have been through a bunch of trauma, because if you haven't been through trauma as a man, you're a weakling. You have to have been through a bunch of shit. So the masculine and the feminine is a very interesting point there. As for, I don't know your history, I don't know the past, but we can just talk in generalizations in regards
People
to
like me, I guess, under the same umbrella. It doesn't have to be personal.
I don't know any of it, but we'll give generalizations. One of the main reasons that men are scared of a female with history is because it makes the man insecure. And scared dogs bite. So this is why men will snap or get angry quick, or they'll bring up if you get in an argument with him, he'll bring up your history, whatever. But a lot of it is insecurity, and it's not insecurity because the man is insecure. The women, the female paradigm in society convinces men, any man who says anything, you're insecure. It's not insecure in that way. It's insecure in a very realistic, logical way. Like I was saying earlier, she's had a lot of life experience. Let's be honest. Am I the richest guy she's ever had? No. Am I the most famous guy she's ever had? No. Am I the best looking guy she's ever had? No. Like, what's keeping her here? And then part of it comes down to, well, am I second place? If she could do better, would she do better? Like, there's a whole bunch of insecurity involved. And that's where tiny things, like I know it sounds like dumb shit, tiny things about favorite car brand become more important than ever, right? It's your job as a woman, regardless of how much sexual history you've had or what guy you're with, etc. It's your job as a woman to make your man feel secure in the fact and make him feel like a man, like Auntie was saying, make him feel like the man no matter what he does, so that he feels like you really truly believe he's the best choice for you on the planet. That's your job to do. Now, if you've had a checkered past, that's perhaps more difficult. You need to be more tactful with it, more tactical about it. But you have to achieve the same result. You have to do the exact same thing, right? So, yeah. It's easy for me if I get a 21-year-old virgin from some village in Slovakia and I'm multi-millionaire Andrew Tate. Of course, it's a very easy. She's never had better. She'll never get better. She's never been anywhere. Boom, boom, easy one, right? But like you said, the world's not so idealistic. The reality is that people have had relationships, etc., etc. But a man is happiest in the relationship when he feels like man of the house and when he truly feels like you believe he's the best man that you could possibly ever get and have ever gotten. Because a man is jealous. I'll tell you something. I used to say this to girls as like a joke. And I used to say,
truth in jest.
I used to say, no, I say it's a joke. So you cheated on me before I met you. And she'd be like, what do you mean? I didn't even know you. It's like, yeah, you fucked that guy before I even knew you. You cheated on me. And they used to laugh, whatever. But that's how men think. That's the male mind. Like, I love you. And you've been fucked by who? But I didn't know you. I don't care if you knew me. You should have waited. What do you mean? You didn't? But that's the male mind. So he is in competition with all of your exes and all of your lifestyle and all the things you've done permanently. And it's
I want to take a second right here when he just said that. The man is in competition with all your exes. And probably a lot of people are sitting there like, no. Let me point out one very high profile person who is proof of that. Will Smith. Will Smith has been in competition with Tupac Shakur, who is a dead man, for the entirety of his relationship with Jada Pinkett. He still has problems with it now. And they're old. So it's like, that shit is real. It's very real. But I wanted to point that out because most people probably think that that don't exist. But if you look at Will Smith, oh yeah.
Down to you as a woman to sit there and go, how do I make him secure in himself and secure in his masculinity and make him believe that investing in me is still worthwhile because I still truly value him, despite the fact that I could do X, Y, Z. I hope that gives some clarity. But
the thing is, right? So I agree with him, but I also have to say something else as well. Let me start with what I agree with. I agree with the fact that it's important, as your role as a woman, to allow your man to feel like the king he is. right? And allow him to feel like the king of the house. Allow him to know for a fact that, you know, that is your end all be all. You don't see anything past him. You know, he is the one. That's why when a lot of women talk about like, oh, you know, I don't care if my man looks on Instagram because I look too. I genuinely feel like as a woman, that should not be your line. Like, you should not be still admiring or looking at men as if they're attractive or, you know, wondering about possibilities with other men when you are in a relationship. That means that you are not committed to this person. You should be with somebody else, because with men, it could be a completely physical thing, but with women, it's very emotional. It's very, I wonder what this would be like. I wonder what our life would be like. I wonder what this person's life would be like with me. So it's a completely different ballgame. You know, as a woman, you are your husband's.
Now, it's kind of funny to see that a woman is saying that, because most guys have said this for years, and I don't think that, like I say, women don't really listen to guys, so they don't really care what you think. That's just honest truth. But yeah, this is the deal with that thing, and you're always gonna have this kind of stuff in the back of your mind as a guy.
You are his. You are his entity to protect, to provide for, to lead, to guide, to love. Like, you are his. But when it comes to a woman with a man, it's not the same thing. You belong to him. He can't belong to you. You belong to him. So it is very different. But I just think what I disagree with is that the word choice of insecurity. And I understand why he used that word, of course. But it's something that makes sense, right? Why would I want to be with a woman, right, talking from the man's perspective, who has slept around, who's always, you know, had this guy who was a ball player, all this money, whatever, and I don't know if I take her in a room full of CEOs if she's going to be loyal to me. So it's about loyalty, right? It's about, can he put his self out there and be like, yeah, this is my woman, and be proud of that, or are you going to...
Okay, she disagrees with the word insecurity, but she doesn't understand that most guys understand women as hypergamous. Most men understand women as hypergamous as a group, okay? Most men understand it that way. That women are always going to trade up. They're always looking to trade up. That's what most guys understand, okay? So it's not insecurity, I guess, is what because she disagreed with the use of the word, but that's what I would use, because it is insecurity. And you know that it's there. You know that you know that there's a good chance your ass can get traded up on all the time. So
embarrass him and be trying to sneak around and try to get better than him. Like, I think that's an extremely valid thought process when you have a woman who has been out there and who has been around and who has a lot of...
See, okay, now she's saying a woman has been out there and been around, but the problem is that that rule doesn't just apply to women who's been around. The pergamous thing applies to all women in general. That's why the insecurity is there. She's not looking at it that way. She thinks it just applies to these 304s or whatever they call that. But no, that shit's applying to everybody, because we know that everybody's doing it. All of them are doing that. That's, I think, what needs to be put out there. But let's roll on.
Of quote unquote experiences. It is going to make you feel like that.
That's the answer.
Do you know what I would have said? I would have said, oh, for anybody in that situation, come off social media and just raise your child. So the person who meets you's got nothing to... Like, I never knew you. I never knew who you were, because I've never heard of you before. So when I spoke to you, but the way you're saying, like, what's on the internet, let me just say, you're a nicer person than what you sound like what you perceive to be. Mm-hmm. Like, you were saying, oh, that girl's got, oh, there, she's a whore, and I've heard the name, but I don't know anything about you. And I was saying that if you didn't have nothing on social media about your checkered past, and you met somebody the same way how I met you and I conversed and I got to know you, is the same way that they would.
Yeah, and it is interesting, and it's also back to the masculine and feminine, right? Because I'm all over the internet, and supposedly I'm misogynist and I'm evil and all this crap, right? But if I meet a girl, even if she disagrees with me, in fact, I'll say this, I've never ever met a single female who's ever come up to me and disagreed with me. Every woman comes up to me and loves what I says. But
I was just gonna say this, okay? it's so interesting because you would think that this would be so much conflict. I didn't watch the whole video. It's like 3 hours long for the complete video.
Yeah.
But you would think there would be so much conflict between the two of them. But the thing is that true dominance cannot be argued with. True dominance you cannot go toe to toe with. You have to be humble and ask for advice from that person. She can't come to him toe to toe because she know he's not gonna play with her.
No, it's not because she can't. She can't. He's not gonna play with her. It's because of the position he's in. It's the same way when you look at like the late great Kevin Samuels. Okay, the women was humbled because it's like, okay, I'm talking to somebody who's already there's a millionaire. Matter of fact, when women talk to a millionaire, they probably gonna need to shut the fuck up. And somebody got themselves in check. This is the problem that Myron Gaines has because he ain't got himself in check yet. So when he talks to women, he comes off as a cocky little kid. Matter of fact, not even just women. When I saw him on a flagrant few or two or whatever they are, when he talked to them, there's a couple other things I've seen him on, and I made some videos about those things. But everything that I see him on, he comes off as a cocky ass kid. While he might be making money and shit, he's kind of really turning himself into king of the incels. This guy ain't doing that. And women don't respect incels, so if you the king of the incels, they're not gonna respect you either. That's why Myron Gaines, they listen to this dude when he's talking, even though they call him misogynist too. But Myron, they got zero respect for him. They ain't never gonna have none either. They will watch, mark my word, and see how that works.
He's going to let her know what it is. He's going to put her in her place, and he's going to check her because everything about him, even though he's in a room full of women, is saying, I am a man. And a lot of women require or desire that dominance, right? The reason why she's so humble, the reason why she doesn't want to hear what the other women have to say, and the reason why she wants to hear what he has to say is because he's coming forward with that dominance. Like, yeah, I'm not going to play with you. Yeah, like, I'm not about to play this game. I'm not Mr. Nice Guy. I might be cool and calm, but at the same time...
Basically, he's coming to her like, hey, look, I ain't Myron Gaines. That's what it is, because she shit-talked Myron Gaines. She damn sure did. I did a video about it. Brittany Renner, body's fresh and fit. She shit-talked him. But she's not going to shit-talk this dude because he's actually got his shit in... See, it's one thing just be popping shit. Because to me, that's what Myron Gaines is. Like, you just popping shit. Yeah, you make some money. That's cool. But the deal of it is your personality, even through the camera, looks childish and pathetic. So it's like, but this dude is a lot different. I think Myron Gaines aspires to be like this person. You know what I'm saying? But he's missing certain few aspects that he may gain over the years if he backs off of that bullshit to be on. Because I seen the flagrant few talk to him about that shit. They were trying to tell him, they were trying to drop some real on him then. But as long as he keeps not listening, he don't have those problems. But let's go ahead and see what the rest of this is about.
Don't get it twisted. And so I think that should be mentioned too. It's not that she's just this, certain person. It's that she's in a room full of dominance, so it's going to force her into her feminine nature.
I met this imaginary girl. She was sitting with me. And if I were to have a 10-minute conversation with her, by the time I explained the level to which they tried to destroy me, how they tried to freeze all my bank accounts, raise illegal charges against me, put me in jail for things I didn't do, put a travel ban, take my passport, all this garbage. By the time I explain how hard they tried to hurt me and failed, she'll want me. She'll be like, you can't kill this guy. And that's gonna be it. Like, you say a bunch of shit I don't like, but you know what? You're the man. So it is about experience, and it is different. And that's a really good point about social media. Social media amplifies all of this shit. It amplifies all these problems. Everything we're discussing, everything we've discussed back to the beginning, from status to promiscuity to your past, it's all social media. Without social media, a lot of it goes away.
Yeah, and I think that's why me and my man last so long is that he doesn't do social media, and there's nothing on there about me.
I feel like, to answer your question too, because I have had people say that as a solution, and it's like, you can run, but you cannot hide from the truth. And I have shared that why my voice has been so impactful and will continue to be impactful is because I have put myself out there and I have been punished for being honest. So it's like, I have been given a platform and a voice for a reason. Even sitting down in this conversation thinking there's not one person I'm probably going to agree with and probably going to want to leave, I've been called here for a reason. So it's like I can't go against what is in my heart and what I am coded to be. And that's why I feel like it's important for me to sit here and represent people who feel like me, because it's like I don't even want to say that. I just feel like I don't see a lot of women under my umbrella who feel the way that I feel. I don't see opinions shared that would be worded the way that I feel. Nothing. I feel like a lot of my thoughts are very unique, and it's kind of scary because I have been through different things. I see the world in a different place, and when I even speak online, people think I'm fucking speaking Swahili.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I know exactly what you're saying, and you're making good points. And it's just, I think that regardless of whether, like, we're talking about different positions. I compare everything to chess. I know it's annoying. We're looking at different positions on the chessboard, but the rules are still the same, right?
Okay.
No matter how bad your position is or how good your position is, you're still trying to achieve the same objectives. And you want the man to get high status, and you want the man to feel secure in himself. And I think it's very difficult. I can only talk from the male perspective because I am a man.
Right.
It is very difficult. If I were to meet a woman who I liked very much, but she had X whatever, past whatever. My concerns would be, how do I know that I'm still the number one? How do I know I'm most important in her life, especially if I don't measure up in certain key metrics? And two, the second thing that's most scary for men is we understand that men are constantly after what we have. Like,
you know what? Let me say something about this, though. This girl's past is one thing, but let's just all look at the very, very honest thing of this. When she was with the PJ Washington dude, he never said anything about her cheating. He never said she left him. He never said she was trying to go on a party. He never said none of that junk. That's what she wound up leaving him because she said that he wouldn't be faithful. That's the story that I'm getting out of it. Might be wrong. Y'all drop in the comments. Let me know what's really going on with it, because I don't really know. But I've been listening to them. I hear her side of it, but I haven't heard him say anything bad about this chick. I think that would be all over the doggone internet. So we do gotta kind of look at that. I don't think people looking at that from that point of view either. But let's roll on with this one.
Your inboxes are all full. Like, they may not be with guys you want to reply to, but guys are still trying to get it. That's the male life. The male life is people are trying to take everything from me. And that's very scary. And you have to make your man really believe like that's impossible. If a man truly believes that nobody can take you from him, he's going to love you in a different way. You can give me 2 carbon copies of the same chick, but one I think might cheat in the right circumstances, and one I know no matter what would never leave me. The love I'll feel for this one is a different planet to the love I feel for this one, even though they're the same person, right? Because that's every man's biggest fear, is a woman cheating or leaving, because there's something visceral and something different about it. I know I talk things and I say men can do things and women can't and all this stuff, but like, if a woman cheats on a man, that hurts the man at a level that it doesn't hurt the woman if the man cheats.
But see, you know what? And this is the thing, man. I keep wanting to say this because they always talk about this Brittany Renner girl, and they say about high body count because she dated all these people, but ain't never nobody called her a cheater. Ain't nobody ever called her that. And I just don't think the people giving her a fair chance with that one. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think about that. You know, nobody ever called the motherfucker a cheater. PJ Washington ain't called no cheater. So I mean, like, she might got a lot of boyfriends, but she damn sure gonna break up with your ass and go get somebody else. She nobody said she fucking on somebody else while she's with you. So I kind of want to throw that one out there, and that's something I'm gonna start experimenting with.
Cheats on her. It's different. It's different biologically. It's different.
And again, because you're his. Again, he looks at you as this sacred, special person. That, again, he's vowing to protect, cover, guide, love, like all of these things, all of the above. So it's like you're supposed to be untouchable.
No, women don't get this. I'm gonna die for you. I heard a couple of the guys say it. And they keep not getting it. But see, you ain't gonna see me explaining to them either. I'm just saying on my channel, I'm gonna die for you. That's the easiest way of putting it. When that guy puts that doggone woman, and when she is the main chick, I'm gonna die for you. That's the best way of going down to it. I'm gonna die for you. If somebody try to shoot you, I'm gonna take the bullet. If somebody try to stab you, I'm gonna take the damn. But they gonna have to stab me first. If it ain't nothing to eat, if it's one thing to eat, I'm getting to your ass first. And whatever you get done with, I'll take that. I'm gonna put your survival ahead of mine. That is what guys are doing. When the guy's taking a woman in like that, I'm gonna put your survival ahead of mine. That's why they expect you to pay the bills and do all the other good stuff. I'm gonna put your survival ahead of mine. So they're not looking at it from that point of view. Now they don't really care about it, but that's what it is.
And that's special. But I don't think it should be a game of trying to convince your man. I think it should be being with that person that you ultimately really truly feel that way about. I genuinely feel that way because a lot of women will hear this information and then say, oh, I know what to do. I'm going to make him feel like this and I'm going to always do this. I'm going to stroke his ego. I'm going to make him feel this way. And they don't truly believe it. They have in their mind that they're going to do other things, but just because they know that this is what a man desires, they're going to try to become that. Right? And that's not the same thing. That's extremely different.
See, now what she's talking about now is manipulation. So the easy way of doing this is they can take the information, but only do it for a person that you really want to do this for. It's just that simple. But she's right. Most of them are going to manipulate. I agree with her. Most people are going to try to use it for manipulation, but that's why we don't disclose certain things.
Different. But I think when it comes to the situation, it just is what it is. Right? She probably makes a living off of social media. She obviously can't run from the platform. But at the end of the day, I think starting off with saying to all of the women who were following her that, you know what, guys, I'm still trying to figure things out. And to be honest with you, I've been wrong. I'm wrong. I do need a man. I do want a man. I do want to be with a man. I do want a committed relationship. I did have some hard times and hard situations that I've been trying to figure out, and I've passed judgment in ways that I should not. But I do want to say that I do want to be with somebody. I do want a loving companion, and I was wrong. I think that's starting somewhere. Okay, it's definitely not going to change your past, but I think that's starting somewhere and saying a lot.
Evolutionarily, like that's what men used to fight and die over. You talk to my chick, you look at
like
my
you cut his
chick.
dick off.
Yeah, it's like you demasculinize him on every level. Like, and this is why you see these TikToks, right? You see these TikToks. Me and my man went on a break, got back together. He fucked 20 girls, and now he's crying because I went on a date. Yes, completely yes. Because the damage level is different. It's just a different thing. So you have to understand the paradigms. You have to understand to play the game, and that's how you make men happy. And I know very well how I like to believe that I would know very well how to make a woman happy. And I know, and whether I do that or not is a conscious decision. And that's where you get to a certain level of grandmastery where if I get a woman, I will literally decide out of 10, how happy do I want her? Does she deserve to be happy 10? Or should I keep her like crying half the time? That it's very conscious. And women don't think that way. But I'm saying if you're if you're a cunning woman, you could be like that. You could be a bit more like, you know what? I want him infatuated with me. This guy ain't worth the time. That guy I want. And then when you're going to do that, just like the game of chess, if you play chess, it's not big moves that make you lose. It's small positional plays. It's that time you argued about your favorite car. It's the time you disagreed with him about the favorite band. It's the dumb shit that adds up. Whereas really, truthfully, if you're truly smart about the game, you can get him to a point after a few months where he's like, she's my soulmate. She loves everything I love. We think the same. Our hearts are connected. Boom. And then you're safe. Just don't fuck it up from there. That's the game.
But I just feel like it's so
Yeah. I mean, it's really simple. But the thing is, though, that's why I say they don't care. Because if they care, man, they had the shit mastered by now. It's really, really simple.
contradicting to, I feel like, what your overall message is, which is about truth. So it's like, if my truth, like, if it can be destroyed by the truth, it should be destroyed by the truth. So that's what I'm trying to figure out, like, why it's really mind-boggling to me, because I feel like, how could you even be mentally, emotionally, sexually stimulated by a woman who is just agreeable, and it doesn't have her own mind? I just don't see that.
That is exactly what every man wants. We don't want you to be complete robots. We're not saying we can't have a joke with you. We can't say we can't have a laugh with you. We're not saying you can't have a personality. But when it comes to things like agreement, there is not a single man in the world who's going to say, she's too agreeable. She just agrees with me on it. She agrees with me on all the important things in my life. She's too agreeable. I want someone else. Fuck no. You're completely and utterly wrong on that point. It's a huge point. This idea that, I understand if you're a complete doormat and you set no standards, men might walk all over you. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about agreeability and agreeableness as a whole. Men.
You know what I think needs to get explained by this agreeable thing? This right here. Okay? The agreeableness is not so you can be a bitch to the dude. No. The agreeableness is this right here. Okay? If I'm the leader, right? Because I'm paying everything, I gotta do A, B, and C because that's what a lot of them want. If I gotta do that, if I gotta do all that, then the person that's following me needs to be agreeing with where we're going. They need to agree with what we're gonna eat. They need to agree to this right here. They need to agree to this right here, because we don't need to get there and be arguing and all the other good shit, which is what really happens with a lot of people. You have to agree to follow the leader. Is that the same way when you go get a job? You have to agree to follow your bosses. That's the only way the job can work. When you're in a relationship, like friendship shit, sometimes when, okay, your friend won't go this, you got to agree to follow your friend, because that way they're going to take you on the little thing. It's the same way with you. If you go on with somebody, you telling somebody to come with you, it could just be a friendship thing. Hey, you come with this. You're not going to take the party pooper. You're going to take the person like, yeah, you talking about drinking? I'm doing it. Yeah. You talking about getting high? Let's do it. That's what you're going to do. You're not taking an unagreeable person with you. And like I say, all this stuff really like falls into our relationship type stuff. To me.
Men love the idea of an agreeable woman because it gives status, and it makes the man feel like he's a teacher, and it makes the man feel in charge, and it satisfies his ego. And to you, they may be small, little, tiny points, but to him, they're a big deal. If I were to sit, I'm telling you right now, if I were to sit with one of my chicks or whatever, or my chick, and I were to sit in the Lambo and say, Lambo's the best car of all of them, I prefer the Lambo. And she goes, I don't like that one, da da da. I'm like, listen, I bought them all, and I fucking said this is the best one. Shut up. It would annoy me because that's my reality. I want her to become part of my reality. It's the thing. And you talk about truth. It's interesting because the truth of your heart and the truth of your soul is to be happy. That's truth. Truth is for you to end up happy.
Do you wanna be right all the time? Do you want to have the last word? Do you want to have the last say? Do you want to be disagreed? Do you want to prove your personality? Do you want to prove that you have all this knowledge against your man? Do you want to prove that you know more about things than he knows? Do you want to prove all these things? Or do you want to be happy in a relationship?
Look, it really just goes down to this. Do you agree to follow the leader? You know? Hey, if you throw a barbecue, I'm throwing a barbecue. You throwing a barbecue, whoever throwing a barbecue. You're not going to invite people to your house that don't agree with your rules. You're not. And you're going to be more uncomfortable. You're going to be more comfortable with the people who do agree with your rules. That's a form of relationship between people. There's some people that you know that can't come to the barbecue. Why? Because they're going to come to your house and act crazy and do all kinds of junk. You're going to kick them out. Now you'll see them, you know what I'm saying, every nothing, but they can't come to the barbecue. It just is what it is. This junk don't got nothing to do with proving this or proving that. This is basic relationship skills of people. That's what's lacking. Basic relationship skills. You're asking the girl on a date. She's got to agree to go. And when she agrees to go, well, we going here. Okay. She's got to agree to that. We're going to eat this. You got to agree to that because she's following the leader. I'm going to follow you. That's really kind of what it is. They keep, like, brushing that. But the thing of it is people got to start understanding that junk don't just work in this type of relationship. It works when you're at your church. If you don't agree with the preacher, you're not going to follow them. On your job, if you don't agree with the boss, you're not going to follow them. And if they don't want to follow them, they don't want you around anyway. That's what's going on. If you were the person in charge and somebody don't want to follow you and don't want to agree, you're not going to want them around anyway because, like, shit, I'm trying to go over here and do this, but they don't want to go, so I ain't taking them anyway. I mean, like, that's just my point of view. Y'all might think I'm right, you might think I'm wrong.
And a lot of times, a lot of women similar to her would rather be right and be alone, would rather disagree and be alone, would rather cause a conflict and be alone, would rather try to, bring this man down to size and be alone.
But see, as she said, cause a conflict and be alone. If you cause a conflict in any type of relationship that you have, your ass is going to be alone. If you cause a conflict at church, they're going to kick your ass out the church. If you cause conflict on your job, they're going to fucking fire you. If you doggone cause a conflict at your college, they're going to doggone expel you. If you cause conflict at school as a kid, they're going to kick you out, OSS, all that other good shit. Out of school suspension, go to alternative school. You see what I'm saying? It's just that simple. Y'all let me know what y'all think.
That's the whole thing.
You have to sit there and agree on especially on a subject you don't give a fuck about, right? If it's something you care about and you are very knowledgeable about, if it's ancient Roman history and you have a degree in ancient Rome, then fine, argue the point. But if it's cars or something you don't even give a shit about,
Make it easy.
You're missing the chance to get points on the scoreboard, an easy free throw, and you're just fucking it up, going, why? The truth is just play the game and win.
I love what he said about the fact that men, keep this. It's the little things that add up. A lot of women don't realize that. A lot of women think, well, I cook, I clean, I do this, I do that. But you nag about the smallest things. You're constantly trying to belittle him. You're constantly arguing with him, going back and forth, pushing and exuding masculinity against him. You're supposed to be on one team and you're pushing him forth like, I know better, I know this, I know that. You can't.
I'm telling you you're the boss, but I ain't gonna listen. Just boils down to that. You supposed to be bossing the house. You supposed to be taking care of everything, but I ain't finna listen.
You can't tell me this. You can't talk down to me. And you're constantly causing conflict. All that stuff adds up in his mind. It's another line on the scoreboard like, there she go. She going off again. There she go. Until he looks at you with this.
Hey, y'all, look, check this out. We got a saying down south. You can take the horse to the water. You can't make him drink it. Okay? And the thing of it is that's what this is. You can't, you know what I'm saying? It's like taking a horse. You got a horse, you take it out there to the lake, and it ain't want to drink, and you try and force it to drink, that joke kick you in the chest. You done. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't force something on somebody that's not. So they're not with the program. They gotta go. It's like it's just like that. It's really pretty much like that. If you go to your church and you're not with the program, you gotta go. If you go to your job and you're not with the program, you gotta go. If your friends invite you on a trip, and y'all get down there, y'all go rent a place and all the junk, and you ain't with the program, and you don't want to pay your half and all this junk, and you ain't trying to put in on shit like you agreed to, you got to go. I'm gonna leave that be.
Discuss. Until he looks at you like this, as beautiful as you may look, as this, she's so disagreeable, she's so this, she's so annoying, I can't stand her. And you're trying to figure out, well, I do everything right, but it's the little things. It's the little things. The little, what do they say? The little the little foxes spoil the vine is that.
Being disagreeable ain't a little thing. You can do everything right on your job, but if you disagreeable with your boss, they still gonna want you gone. You can do everything right at your church, but if you disagreeable with the leadership there, they gonna want you gone. Let's go back to the friends trip. You can go there, pay all your stuff, do everything else, and y'all got y'all little Airbnb and y'all at the house, and then but you at the house fucking up everything, acting like an asshole, trashing the place, talking shit to everybody. You finna have to go because you disagreeable.
For sure it's that. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions on this video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next video. I do want to say, though, one thing I agree with that she said was when she said about truth. You have to be authentic. You have to be truthful. You have to be honest. Right? You can't be just playing this game and then leading a man into misery. I do not condone that. I don't support that. You need to be truthful. If you are with a man that you cannot be agreeable with, you don't need to be with that man. Mm-hmm. Like Sister Shaharzada Ali said, free that man, allow that man to find his peace somewhere else, and you go be with a man that you can be peaceful with. Truthfully. Not the facade. But let me know what you guys think about this. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Okay. So, that was that on that one. And like I say, this is the emancipation of Brittany Renner. You know what I'm saying? She liberated. She's been liberated from some of her thoughts she had before. And now she's looking for a way to change those things. I don't think her lowering her standards, like how Pearl was saying, is gonna help. Cause she don't really have to. She's elevated herself to another position that she can find somebody that'll take her. You know what I'm saying? And she can still find the high profile guys that'll take her. She could. I get in that kind of junk in other videos. Y'all drop the comments, let me know what y'all think. It's been Taurus Downie. Go hard, go home. Y'all hit that subscribe button for me. No cash apps, no money. Don't need y'all money. I got my own. Just do this for the hell of it. And give me the subscribers. That's my deal. If I can have those. So hit the subscribe button for me. And I'm out. Y'all drop the comments. Let me know what y'all think. Peace.